Greetings everyone. Today we are at our headquarters facility in Plessisville, Quebec, where we produce, assemble, and test all of our equipment before they're sent on their way to the customer. Today, I'm happy to introduce you or refresh your memory about our baler lines, 2-ram and single ram. Before we dive into the details, our baler adventure started in the early 2000s with R&D, and we delivered our first single ram baler in 2003. After about a decade of doing single ram baler, customers started asking why we didn't produce any 2-ram balers. A few years later, after R&D, we delivered finally our first 2-ram baler to the market in 2012. To this day, Machinex still invests in continuous R&D to offer our customer top-of-the-line baler series that suits today's MRF industry in performances and maintainability. Behind me today, we are in the final testing and assembly of one of our 2-ram balers. Since single ram and 2-ram baler share a lot of similar features, let's start by exploring those features. From up here, I can introduce you to one of the primary features of both our single and 2-ram balers. It's the pre-fill valve. It's a big conduit that you see there that links the tank to the cylinder. Due to the pre-fill valve, oil is fed to the cylinder by gravity. For that reason, on our baler with pre-fill, the power unit and tank needs to be mounted on top of the ram. Pre-fill is a high-flow, direct access from the tank to the main cylinder to transfer oil faster using gravity for the portion of the cycle where full pressure is not required to move the ram and compact the material. This is available on both single ram and 2-ram, and while allowing us to move the ram a lot faster, it also considerably reduces the electrical consumptions. Also from out here, we can see that our balers has a lot of bolts on the sides. There's bolts here also on the side of the main ram. And there's those passing pit here at the bottom. They're all there and they all serve the purpose to secure our bolt-on liners. And it is also a feature that is shared by both our single ram and 2-ram balers. Our baler features those liners almost everywhere in the baler chamber. On the floor, but also on the sides and the top of gathering and compaction areas. Since accessibility is always the key to work fast and efficiently on machines, we also came up with pretty large access doors on both sides of the machines. On single and 2-ram, we use different shears, but they both achieve the same goal. The double V shear on the single ram or this V-serrated shear knife on the 2-ram are progressively shearing the material, relieving the hydraulics from those high pressure peaks generated during the material shearing. Custom built and developed in-house, our power unit is 5,000 PSI system with variable flow piston pump. Similar to the pre-fill, the variable flow helps saving energy using the pump in their optimal pressure to flow ratio all the time during the cycles. They also allow us to power other components such as the strappers, the nutters in the process, and other optional features. All of our balers offers a large 15-inch touchscreen, giving the user access to all balers parameters such as pressure, ram position, material, recipe, just to name a few. With the control, we also offer a variety of options such as remote control, bunker management, and reporting tools. Earlier, we talked about the large door to access the baler. This is the full front ram hinge door on our wide mouth 2-ram. It can open down and level with the floor so we can pull out the main ram and eventually even the cylinder out from the front. To be able to open the front ram hinge door, we remove all the 4 pins in the front. We can edge it down, and that's where we get full access to the rest of the components. MRF today are more and more packed with equipment, and keeping the room to remove the cylinder from the rear is not always the optimal scenario. So we offer this option in all of our wide mouth 2-ram configuration. This super bolt right here allows the technicians that works on the baler to adjust the shear gap from the outside of the baler easily with tools that are available to almost any MRF operators. Now, let's cover a few of the single ram features. Our patented combination of pre-press and shear reduces stress on the shear, but when not required, we can disengage the pre-press and use the shear only to increase baler speed and capacity. We can always use the shear if there's any jam or the pre-press cannot complete its cycle. Another feature of our single ram baler is the horizontal tie By opening and closing and by pushing the wires instead of pulling them, we clean the wire spit easily by pushing potential contaminants across the open tires to the ground. The mechanism then closes, tie the nut, and open back up while the needles are retracting. The result is more reliable and again easier to maintain tying system. And remember, always feel free to call and talk to our experts. If you have any questions about our 2-ram, single ram, or any other balers that we manufacture, over the years we've widened our scope of balers to narrow box, 2-ram, closed door baler, DC center baler, regen instead of prefill. And keep in mind, we've always developed and worked on our balers with our customers to be able to adapt to the special need of our industry.